Somebody tried to kill me.
Okay, so Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit is the 5th Jack Ryan movie, second reboot. It's confusing. He's been in other movies. Hunt for Red October is probably the most famous one. And then Harrison Ford played him twice in Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. And then they tried to reboot it with a young Jack Ryan with Ben Affleck, and no one cared. And now it's like 13 years later, and now we have Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit. Another reboot starring Chris Pine. And directed... I'm gonna try that again. Directed by Kenneth Branagh.
Who's that, Tony?
Kenneth Branagh directed Hamlet. He's an actor. He directed Thor. He's a great British man. And he directed this film.
Who also starred in his own film.
You Americans like to think of yourselves as direct. Perhaps you are just rude.
Perhaps you're just touchy.
Yeah, he does that a lot. I'm surprised Kenneth Branagh did not play Stellan Skarsgård's part in Thor. I'm surprised he didn't cast himself as Odin. He seems to love himself, especially in this movie. So a little background on Jack Ryan. He's a Tom Clancy character. R.I.P. Tom Clancy. He died earlier this year. And he's kind of like the American James Bond, but not as interesting. Yeah. Before we saw this, we wanted to touch up on Jack Ryan. So we watched Hunt for Red October when Alec Baldwin played him, and we really liked that one.
You're heading straight into that torpedo.
Yes. Doing what?
It's turned right into the torpedo's path.
What?
Red October's turned directly into the torpedo's path, sir.
Mother of God.
And then we watched like 30 minutes of the Harrison Ford one, and it was just kind of dull. I watched a little bit more after that, but again, my internet was all like, you've had enough of this movie, and turned the movie off. I'm like, alright, I guess Sean Bean wins at the end. So it was cool to see this character rebooted again, because we liked Alec Baldwin playing him, and I think Chris Pine kind of plays him as like Alec Baldwin did. Like,
yeah.
He's super smart, he's secret, he was in the military, but he wasn't really gung-ho. Like, his first field mission in the military, he gets into a helicopter accident.
Yeah.
Which was big in Hunt for Red October. This movie, you see the accident, and then later on in the movie, he's all like, have you been in a helicopter since? He's like, nope, let's do it. And then nothing's made of it.
But in
Hunt for Red October, he gets
terrified.
He gets back in the helicopter. He has to face his fear, and it's a big moment. But yeah, the movie's pretty good. Jack Ryan, after September 11th, because, you know, it's modernized, he joins the military, and then he gets recruited by Kevin Costner, who's really boring, and, yeah, you done? You done over there?
I have a lot of food, and they're all in noisy packages.
Okay. Kevin Costner recruits him in The Shadows.
Yes.
In case you thought the word shadow recruit had some kind of, like, real value, like, oh, he's some super... No, he's just... Kevin Costner was standing in a really dark hallway when he recruited him.
Creepily standing,
Yeah.
watching Chris Pine run.
And then Chris Pine kind of just does his job. He's not, like, a super special secret agent. He's just an analyst. He's on Wall Street trying to find, like, dirty deals and stuff. And then he kind of just gets, like, forced into being a secret agent. But even then, for the beginning of the movie anyway, they played it off pretty well. Like, he's got, like, a back brace on, and he's trying to keep a secret from Keira Knightley, but he's doing a bad job.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
You lied to me for 3 years. Somebody
Come on, of course not. Can we have a minute, please?
No. This is geopolitics, not couples therapy.
It reminded us of how Alec Baldwin played it. Alec was just like, oh man, I should have sent a memo, now I'm here.
Jack, next time you get a bright idea, just put it in a memo.
And he's got to stop this terrorist plot, and that's the little down part of the movie. But, so yeah, first off, what did you like about Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit?
I liked Chris Pine. I thought he did a really good job. I think he's attractive, but he brought in some, like Alec Baldwin, some comedy quirkiness to it. Like, you kind of related with him, but you didn't take him too seriously.
He also did that in Star Trek, and that's why I liked him in Star Trek, yeah.
Like, he knew what he was supposed to do, but he wasn't sure, like, in the beginning when he gets into the confrontation with the guy in the hotel room.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of like out of sorts.
That's like his first kill, and it really affects him. Like they try to do that in Casino Royale, the James Bond reboot, where like he kills his first guy and he's like little shooken up, and then the rest of the movie he's just blowing people's heads off, and he like attaches a light bomb to someone and blows him up and smiles. And it's like, wow, it's really affected James Bond there, that one death. But this movie, he like goes back to the hotel after they clean it, and he's like still shaking.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really kill many.
No.
He kills like one other person. He kills Jack Russian. I'll get into that. That's what our name for the character we can't remember.
I think by the end, though, he really comes into his own. And
There was kind of a stupid moment where like he's on a motorcycle talking on his cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, all right. It's like Chris Pine was like, guys, I'm tired of being like real whiny. Can you put me on a motorcycle where I'm talking on my cell phone? Yeah, like you said, Chris Pine really sells the movie. Him and Keira Knightley are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Even Kevin Costner's fine, even though he's Kevin Costner.
You're not just an analyst anymore, Jack. You're operational now.
And now I think we both have a problem. This is where the movie fails. Who are the bad guys in this modern, updated, current rendition of Jack Ryan?
the Russians.
Oh, yeah, the Russians. Like, I know it's a Tom Clancy book, but the Russians are really dated as a bad guy. Like, not even, oh my god, I can't believe I'm about to compliment Die Hard 5. But Die Hard 5 had Russian bad guys, but they weren't, well, the one was part of the Russian government, but they weren't doing it for the glory of Russia. They were just money-hungry people. This one, Kenneth Branagh is doing it for the glory of Russia, and we must make the Americans pay. Again,
so strange.
Again, if this was like Hunt for Red October, or
Yeah.
like if this was like an actual prequel that took place in the 70s or 80s, I would have thought that was hilarious and awesome. It is so fucking out of place in this movie.
Well, what's funny about this is the Hunt for Red October, Sean Connery doesn't want to bomb us.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
wants to actually live in America.
Also,
Get
since
this one.
since I don't think in Hunt for October, not one Russian in that movie has a Russian accent, so they might not even be Russians.
What books?
Pardon me?
What books did you write?
I wrote a biography of Admiral Halsey called The Fighting Sailor about naval combat tactics.
I know this book.
Torpedo impact.
Your conclusions were all wrong, Brian.
10 seconds.
Halsey acted stupidly.
9.
I'm so Russian, wrong. The Russian thing, like again, it wasn't. The idea was cool. The spoiler, they have this idea. The Russians have all these like they're doing something with the money on Wall Street. They're gonna cause a terrorist attack and then like flood the stock market. They're pretty much gonna bankrupt America and a bunch of other countries. And I'm like, that's really cool. And if it was like a terrorist cell or like some generic hacker or anything, I could have got behind that. But the fact that it was like Kenneth Branagh, the fucking director, casting himself as the bad guy, as a Russian with a really bad Russian accent and doing it, he's like in a church, he's like, for Mother Russia. I'm like, no, it's 2014. Like, Russia doesn't really like us, but I mean, like Putin's an asshole, but we're not going to war. The Cold War is done. I mean, yeah, we had that thing with Syria earlier in the year, but whatever. The movie's okay, it's just Kenneth Branagh, and then he acts like he's Jesus when he dies at the end. Like, the movie makes you think Jesus died. Like, it's all slow, and he gets shot, and the choir goes up. And it's like, Kenneth, get over your fucking self.
And his son.
Oh, yeah, his son. We kept calling him Jack Russian, because, like, the movie has, like, a Russian terrorist sleeper cell in America, like, this family. And the son is his son, and he's, like, gonna bomb a building on Wall Street underneath. And we just kept calling him Jack Russian, because we were like, oh, I guess he's like the Russian Jack Ryan or whatnot.
But the whole time leading up to, you think that his son is dead.
Oh, yeah.
Until they bring in this character who's
then,
living in America, and then you find out that it's actually his son. And actually in the church, he prayed to his son.
Oh, was that who he was praying to?
Yeah, and told him, I guess, basically to come through for his country or whatever.
And then whoever Kenneth Branagh was working for, like, shoots him, and he goes, everything I did for Mother Russia, and the guy goes, me too, and then shoots him. And it was ridiculous. But, yeah, so as far as January movies go, these were okay. I really wanted to see Legend of Hercules, because that just looked awful. And
I wanted to see her.
I want to see that
amazing.
so bad.
But it's January. You gotta see shitty movies in January. That's the whole point. Wait till
There's
February.
always room for watching Phoenix, though.
So yeah, that's
In my
what final
bedroom.
final thought. You'll probably enjoy these movies. You can wait till video. If you never see them, you're not gonna lose anything.
Yeah.
So that's it. What comes out next week? Anything come out next week or this week?
Lego movie?
Huh?
Lego movie?
I thought that was February.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
Isn't it February?
I don't know. Yeah, so we'll try to see one or two more shitty movies in January. We have another mission we've been sitting on we got to get to now. So, bye!